In a time shrouded by the fog of history, ancient China was a land where legends and stories traveled through the very spirit of existence. Where towering mountains kissed the sky and rivers flowed with the tales of old, there was a story that echoed through the ages. A tale blending the human heart with the harsh reality of power and ambition. Continuing with the 4 great folktales of China, the tale of Lady Meng Jiang is the second episode in this series. It is a story about how love and sorrow defied the power of an emperor, creating a story rich in devotion, sacrifice, and enduring human spirit. Note, details of this story may differ from other retellings since there are many different variations for this story. Welcome to the legend known far and wide as the story of Lady Meng Jiang. During the Qin dynasty, the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, embarked on an ambitious project to build a massive wall to protect his empire from northern invaders. This endeavor, which would later be known as the Great Wall of China, required immense labor. The emperor's vision was vast, and he believed that the wall would stand as a testament to his power and safeguard his realm from threats beyond the northern borders. The construction of the Great Wall was a monumental task, and the emperor's officers scoured the countryside for able-bodied men to conscript. Thousands of men were torn from their homes and families, forced to work under brutal conditions. The labor was relentless, the weather harsh, and the environment unforgiving. Many workers succumbed to the harsh conditions, their bodies buried in the very wall they were building. In a quiet village far from the chaos of imperial demands, lived a young woman named Meng Jiang. She was known for her beauty and kind nature. Meng Jiang was the pride of her parents, who had raised her with love and care. She spent her days helping her family with chores, tending to the garden, and occasionally wandering through the nearby forests and fields, finding peace in nature's embrace. Meng Jiang's family was humble but happy. They lived a simple life, free from the turmoil that had gripped much of the empire. Little did they know that their lives were about to change forever. One day, while Meng Jiang was gathering herbs by the river, she noticed a figure stumbling through the underbrush. It was a young man, his clothes tattered and his face drawn with exhaustion. He looked around nervously, his eyes filled with fear. This was Fan Xiliang, a scholar on the run from the imperial officers who sought to conscript him for labor on the Great Wall. As Fan Xiliang approached the river, he saw Meng Jiang. He hesitated for a moment, unsure if he could trust her. But desperation won over caution. He fell to his knees, his voice hoarse from thirst and fatigue. "Please," he begged, "help me. I have escaped from the conscription officers and I need a place to hide." Meng Jiang, moved by his plight and his noble demeanor, immediately offered him water and food. She listened to his story with a compassionate heart. Fan Xiliang told her about the horrors of the forced labor camps, where men were driven to death by exhaustion and starvation. He had fled, hoping to find refuge far from the emperor's reach. Seeing his genuine fear and desperation, Meng Jiang decided to bring him to her family's home. She led him through hidden paths in the woods, avoiding the main roads where the emperor's men patrolled. When they arrived, her parents were initially wary of harboring a fugitive, but Meng Jiang's heartfelt plea won them over. They welcomed Fan Xiliang into their home, providing him with a safe haven. As days turned into weeks, Fan Xiliang became a part of their family. He helped Meng Jiang's father in the fields and shared his scholarly knowledge with Meng Jiang. They spent hours talking about poetry, philosophy, and the world beyond their village. Through these conversations, their bond deepened. Meng Jiang admired Fan Xiliang's intellect and gentle nature, while he was captivated by her kindness and strength. Their friendship soon blossomed into love. The village elders and their families noticed the growing affection between them. It was a natural and beautiful union, and soon they decided to marry. Their wedding was a simple yet joyous affair. Villagers gathered under a grand old tree, adorned with red lanterns and ribbons, to celebrate their love. They sang, danced, and wished the couple a lifetime of happiness. For a brief time, Meng Jiang and Fan Xiliang lived in bliss, cherishing each moment together. They dreamed of a future filled with love and peace, unaware that fate had other plans. It almost seemed as if their love could shield them from the outside world's troubles. Their newfound happiness was short-lived. The relentless search for laborers continued, and the emperor's officers grew more determined to find those who had escaped conscription. One fateful day, as Fan Xiliang and Meng Jiang were working in the fields, a group of imperial soldiers descended upon their village. The soldiers, with their stern faces and sharp weapons, searched every house, leaving no stone unturned. When they reached Meng Jiang's home, Fan Xiliang tried to hide, but it was in vain. The soldiers discovered his hiding place and dragged him out into the open. Meng Jiang, filled with desperation, pleaded with the officers to spare her husband. "Please," she cried, clinging to Fan Xiliang, "do not take him away. He is all I have. We are newly married. Have mercy." The officers, unmoved by her pleas, roughly pulled her away from him. Fan Xiliang, with a heavy heart, looked at Meng Jiang. "I will return," he promised, trying to reassure her even as he was being taken away. "Wait for me." Meng Jiang's heart shattered as she watched her beloved husband being led away in chains. The village that once resonated with the sounds of their laughter now echoed with her cries of anguish. The days that followed were filled with unbearable sorrow. She could barely eat or sleep, her thoughts consumed by the fear of what might be happening to Fan Xiliang. Determined to stay strong for her husband, Meng Jiang vowed to wait for his return. She prayed every day for his safety, hoping that he would somehow survive the brutal conditions and come back to her. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, there was no word from Fan Xiliang. Meng Jiang's hope began to wane, but her love for him remained as strong as ever. She continued her daily routines, tending to the garden and helping her family, but her heart was heavy with worry. Each night, she would sit by the river where they first met, gazing at the water and praying for his safe return. The village elders and her family tried to comfort her, but nothing could ease the pain of their separation. Meng Jiang's unwavering devotion to Fan Xiliang became known throughout the village. People admired her strength and determination, and they too prayed for the safe return of the young scholar. But as time went on, the reality of their situation became harder to ignore. The Great Wall was a place of death and despair, and the chances of Fan Xiliang returning grew slimmer with each passing day. Yet Meng Jiang held onto a glimmer of hope, a small light in the darkness of her sorrow. She believed that love could overcome any obstacle, even the tyranny of the emperor and the cruelty of the labor camps. Her faith in their love kept her going, even as the seasons changed and the world around her continued to move forward. As winter approached, the chill in the air grew sharper, and Meng Jiang's worry for Fan Xiliang deepened. She could not bear the thought of her husband enduring the freezing cold without proper clothing. Determined to help him, she decided to make a warm coat. She chose the finest materials she could find and stitched the coat with her own hands, each thread carrying her love and hope. Once the coat was ready, Meng Jiang packed some food and essentials for the journey. She knew it would be perilous, but her love for Fan Xiliang gave her the courage to face any danger. Early one morning, with the first light of dawn, she set off towards the Great Wall. Meng Jiang's journey was filled with challenges. She traversed treacherous mountain paths that twisted and turned, making each step a test of her resolve. She faced wild animals that prowled the forests, their eyes glowing in the darkness. The weather was harsh, with biting winds and heavy snow that obscured the path ahead. Despite the dangers, Meng Jiang pressed on. Her heart was steadfast, her thoughts focused on reaching Fan Xiliang. Along the way, she encountered kind strangers who were moved by her story. In one village, an old woman offered her shelter and food, saying, "Your love is a beacon of hope. May you find your husband safe and well." In another, a farmer gave her warm clothing and guided her through a particularly dangerous mountain pass. Meng Jiang's determination never wavered. She crossed rivers swollen with icy water and climbed steep cliffs that seemed insurmountable. Every obstacle she overcame strengthened her resolve. She could feel Fan Xiliang's presence guiding her, urging her forward. Her journey was long and exhausting, but she knew she had to reach the Great Wall. After many weeks of travel, Meng Jiang finally reached the Great Wall. The sight of the massive structure filled her with awe and dread. She had heard tales of the wall's grandeur, but seeing it in person was overwhelming. It stretched endlessly across the landscape, a testament to the emperor's ambition and the countless lives lost in its construction. Meng Jiang began her search, moving among the laborers who toiled under the watchful eyes of the supervisors. She called out Fan Xiliang's name, hoping against hope that he would hear her. The workers, gaunt and exhausted, looked at her with hollow eyes, too weary to offer much help. Days passed, and Meng Jiang's desperation grew. She combed through the labor camps, her voice growing hoarse from shouting her husband's name. Finally, in a moment of utter despair, Meng Jiang approached a supervisor. With tears streaming down her face, she pleaded for information about Fan Xiliang. The supervisor, cold and unfeeling, looked down at her and said, "Your husband is dead. He died from the grueling labor and harsh conditions. His body lies buried beneath the wall." Meng Jiang felt as if the ground had been ripped out from under her. Her knees buckled, and she collapsed at the foot of the Great Wall. Her heart shattered into a million pieces, and she wept with a grief so profound that it seemed to shake the very earth. Her cries of sorrow echoed through the mountains, a lament for the love she had lost. As Meng Jiang's tears soaked into the ground, something miraculous happened. The wall, which had stood unyielding for so long, began to tremble. Cracks appeared in the stone, and with a thunderous roar, a section of the Great Wall collapsed. Dust and debris filled the air, and when it settled, Meng Jiang saw the bones of her beloved husband lying before her. Overwhelmed with emotion, Meng Jiang gathered Fan Xiliang's remains, cradling them gently. Her sorrow was immeasurable, but so was her love. She had found her husband, but the cost had been immense. Meng Jiang knelt beside the remains of her beloved husband, Fan Xiliang, her heart heavy with sorrow. She gently gathered his bones, tears streaming down her face, each drop a testament to the depth of her grief. With painstaking care, she performed the burial rituals, ensuring that every detail was attended to with reverence. She burned incense, offered food, and recited prayers, hoping to guide Fan Xiliang's spirit to peace. The villagers, moved by her devotion and the miraculous collapse of the Great Wall, came to support her. They helped dig the grave and stood in solemn silence as Meng Jiang laid Fan Xiliang to rest. The cold wind whispered through the trees, as if mourning alongside them. When the burial was complete, Meng Jiang placed the warm coat she had made on top of the grave, a final gift of love to her husband. The story of Meng Jiang's incredible journey and the collapse of the Great Wall spread quickly. People spoke in hushed tones of the woman whose love and sorrow had shaken the mighty structure. It wasn't long before the news reached the ears of the Qin Emperor himself. The Qin Emperor, known for his curiosity and keen interest in extraordinary tales, was intrigued by the story of Meng Jiang. He summoned her to his palace, eager to meet the woman whose grief had caused such a miraculous event. When Meng Jiang arrived, she was brought before the emperor, her eyes still red from weeping, yet her presence dignified and composed. The emperor was struck by her beauty and the depth of her sorrow. He saw in her a strength and loyalty that he admired. "Your devotion to your husband is unparalleled," he said, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "Such loyalty and beauty deserve to be honored. I offer you a place as my queen." Meng Jiang, still in mourning, listened to the emperor's words. Though her heart was heavy with grief, she knew that this was an opportunity to honor her husband's memory. She bowed her head and said, "Your Majesty, I am humbled by your offer. However, I have one condition. Before I can accept, you must hold a grand funeral for my husband, Fan Xiliang, honoring him with the respect and dignity he deserves." The emperor, eager to have Meng Jiang as his queen, agreed to her request. He ordered an elaborate ceremony to be organized, sparing no expense. The preparations were extensive, involving the finest materials and the most skilled artisans. The emperor wanted to ensure that the funeral was a fitting tribute to the man who had inspired such unwavering love. The grand funeral for Fan Xiliang was held with all the splendor and honor the Qin emperor could muster. The palace grounds were adorned with vibrant banners and majestic flowers, and the air was filled with the sound of solemn music. The emperor had ordered the finest artisans to craft an exquisite coffin and prepared lavish offerings to accompany Fan Xiliang in the afterlife. Nobles and commoners alike gathered to witness the ceremony, their hearts heavy with the weight of Meng Jiang's sorrowful tale. As they watched, the emperor himself led the procession, a gesture of respect for the love and devotion Meng Jiang had shown. The funeral rites were performed with meticulous care, honoring Fan Xiliang's memory and ensuring his spirit would find peace. After the ceremony, Meng Jiang stood by a river that flowed gently past the palace grounds. The water sparkled under the afternoon sun, its calm surface belying the turmoil in her heart. She gazed into the distance, her thoughts filled with memories of the love she had shared with Fan Xiliang. Meng Jiang spoke softly, her voice trembling with emotion. "Fan Xiliang, my love, you were taken from me too soon. The world feels empty without you by my side. I have done all I can to honor your memory, but my heart cannot bear the pain of our separation." Tears streamed down her face as she continued, "I promised to wait for you, to remain true to our love, but now I see that the only way to be with you again is to join you in the afterlife." In a final act of devotion, Meng Jiang stepped towards the river's edge. She took a deep breath, her resolve unwavering. With one last glance at the sky, she threw herself into the water, choosing to reunite with her beloved husband in death rather than live without him. The river embraced her, its waters carrying her away gently, as if understanding the depth of her sacrifice. The people who witnessed this act were struck by the profound love and unwavering loyalty Meng Jiang had shown. Her story spread far and wide, becoming a legend that would be remembered for generations. The story of Lady Meng Jiang and her unwavering love and devotion has been passed down through generations. It serves as a poignant reminder of the power of love and the human spirit's ability to stand against tyranny and oppression. Meng Jiang's tale continues to inspire countless people, symbolizing loyalty, sacrifice, and the enduring strength of the human heart. In the years that followed, poets and storytellers immortalized Meng Jiang's story in their works. Her name became synonymous with unwavering loyalty and selfless love. Statues were erected in her honor, and temples were built where people could come to pay their respects and draw inspiration from her courage. The Great Wall, once a symbol of imperial power and oppression, now also stood as a monument to Meng Jiang's love and sacrifice. Visitors would pause to remember the woman whose tears had brought down a section of its mighty structure. Her story became a source of comfort and strength for those facing their own trials, reminding them that even in the darkest times, love and devotion could light the way. Parents told their children about Lady Meng Jiang, teaching them the values of loyalty, perseverance, and the power of the human heart. Her legacy lived on in the hearts and minds of the people, a timeless testament to the enduring nature of love. Meng Jiang's story is more than a tale of love and loss. It is a beacon of hope and resilience. Her unwavering devotion in the face of unimaginable hardship continues to inspire people across the world, reminding us all that true love transcends even the greatest obstacles. Her spirit lives on, a guiding light for all who seek to honor the ones they love and stand against the forces of oppression and injustice. Thank you all for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. What did you think? Did I miss any details? Let me know in the comments below. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, then welcome to the channel. I hope I earned a like and subscription in your eyes. If not, that's okay. I'll keep making videos until I do earn it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. I truly appreciate all the views, likes, subscriptions, and kind words and messages. Without you, this channel wouldn't be here today. That's it for now. I hope to see you all in the next one.